This is Broadway at 39th Street in New York, the mecca of America's fashion industry and the scene of some absolutely amazing business success stories. But the one you're about to see may be one of the most intriguing of all. It concerns a 39-year-old human dynamo who 10 years ago, with no experience, decided to become a clothing designer and market clothes, believe it or not, for newborn infants and kids. It took a while, but soon his company caught fire. Today, it is growing at the rate of some 40% a year, and now he is poised to enter the lucrative teenage market with one of the hottest labels in the clothing industry today, Von Dutch. What's so absolutely amazing is that he has no formal education, no background in the fashion industry at all. He relies strictly on gut instinct, and he operates full speed ahead on a unique energy source, perhaps best described as BAM power.
If it's not BAM, it's out. It's got to hit you.
His name is Alan Mallow, the CEO of a company called WeePlay. We visited with Alan at his Garment District headquarters and asked him to show us some of his designs and to tell us about his company.
We design 10 items, and after those 10 items, we look at it. Those one or two that shine out of the crowd are the two that become part of our line. The other 8, we shelf it, and we go back to the drawing board. It's about, I guess I had the eye. I believed I had the eye. I was pretty confident before going into this business, and the way my tactics were on spending money when it came to building the business, you know, people thought I was crazy because I had a small business, but I was spending like a big company, and all of a sudden, as I started to make money in the company, which wasn't right away, I had a couple of years where we struggled. I was putting everything into the product. I didn't care if it compromised margin. It didn't matter to me. The product had to be right. I was on board. My focus, my mission statement was please the consumer. I don't care about anybody else. The consumer's the one you got to please. If they're buying your product, the buyers will come around. I started the business in newborn and infant only. And I thought I would quickly get to the other sizes, but we saw so much growth in those size ranges. We were experiencing 30 and 40% growth every year with just newborn and infant. I didn't have the time to go into other size ranges. And then when we started to feel like we had enough presence in that marketplace, then we added toddler. Toddler is sizes 2 to 4T. And then we developed toddler and made it, and focused on separates, sets, outerwear, all the different components revolving around that size range. And when we felt we mastered it, then we went to 4 to 7 and 4 to 6X. And now with Von Dutch is our first launch into 7 to 16 girls and 8 to 20 boys. Look what we did. We did a fade out on the color. We distressed the flocking. The processes involved in this are difficult. This flocking is actually distressed. It's tumbled. It's garment washed. And look at the color fade out. These are not easy. If you're screen printing it, it's an easy process. This is flocking. It has like a little felt texture to it. And you see this, you could see why it makes a difference. I mean, this has attitude to it. It's cool. It's different. And then every so often you see an item that strikes you. It has a little bit touches of different color, and it's just balanced properly with the right embellishment and the right details. And you get it. You see it, and it's bam, it just hits you.
Alan, what do you think it is that made the WeePlay brand catch on?
WeePlay didn't catch fire. I think what sold the brand was, and I've learned some tactics to success. And I say the 4 things to success are quality product, great colors and styling, comfort. Fit is imperative, and we take a tremendous focus. I mean, the Von Dutch people that are making our product are getting frustrated from us because we change the spec 4 times, because I want that jean to fit the highest percentage possible of kids in that size range. Fit is so important. I see how often my wife doesn't buy a garment for my daughter or son because of fit. So it's quality, color and styling, fit, and then the icing on the cake is what I learned after I got in business and got a license was the brand. The brand gives that consumer the comfort level to know that this will hold up in the wash. And you build with that. After 3 seasons of Carter's product or Radio Flyer product or Von Dutch for that matter, performing both in washability, you know, everything about it, that's when you're going to get the consumer to come back and shop it again and know that it's going to work the second time around. There are Carter's, Radio Flyer, Bonjour, Major League Baseball, Care Bears, and Von Dutch, which is old school.
How hot are your brands, and which one do you think does the best?
All of our brands are hot for a different purpose. Carter's is an opening price point. We hit clean-cut, workwear-inspired garments that are well-made at a great price and well-cut, well-styled, and great colorations and great color combos.
Radio Flyer?
Radio Flyer is the same size ranges, and we're kind of like the Americana retro brand, and we do the same thing that Carter's does for the opening price point, but for a little bit better customer, for the department store customer. So Radio Flyer is retro nostalgic, and we use kind of the kids' imagination as the inspiration for designing the brand, but it has a retro Americana vibe to it as far as the product goes. And that is, we wanted to give the department stores something to set themselves apart. Look at the detail in this garment. Besides the fact that we have a yarn-dyed woven stripe with a lightweight canvas, pocket, screen print, the little hidden pockets like I was talking about, this first launch, each garment had little mystery pockets and little things that not only intrigued kids, but the buyers got excited by it. And they see, this is hanging in the store. It's priced better than my competitors, and it's great looking, probably better looking than my competitors. So there's no reason why this can't fly out the doors.
Helen, who designs all this creative merchandise? Where does it happen?
I shop the marketplaces. I travel to Europe with two merchandisers, a girls merchandiser and a boys merchandiser. I used to travel with one, and now I added one to help. We go to 4 countries in about 10 days, and I'm the end of the road. I'm the one that says I don't get it or I do get it. I'm the senior merchandiser.
Now, when you do that, are you shopping for the ideas?
We're shopping and we're buying, but we're buying for a number of different reasons. We could be buying because we like a button detail. We could be buying because we like the color of it or the way it was washed. We could be buying because of the graphics on it. Or we could be buying because we love the whole thing A to Z and we feel we could interpret it into one of our brands. I have 2 goals. One is to make it better than what we purchase. And when we look at the collection for the following season, we look at last year's. If it doesn't beat the crap out of last year's, we're not launching. We're going to go back to the drawing board. We'll take the pieces of it that are working and we'll get moving on that, and we rework.
And what do you think caused the Von Dutch brand to kind of catch fire the way it has?
This is a pop culture phenomenon. Not spending money on advertising. Every famous movie star that you could name, from Hilary Duff to Justin Timberlake to Ashton Kutcher to all these different people that are wearing the brand. I mean, Jay-Z, these people, even people that have apparel companies are wearing a Von Dutch hat, a Von Dutch jacket.
Here come some girls for ya. She said, baby, let's go. When I told her, I said, Tara Reid Acker's on the stage with the Von Dutch kids, ladies and gentlemen.
I think that it has to do with a couple of things. But Kenneth Howard, the creator and the artist who painted the flames on cars and painted the tanks of motorcycles, and was a outcast, oddball type. It's kind of like the anti-brand. And I believe, in my opinion, that Generation Y wants to set themselves apart. They want to be different than their parents were. They don't want to wear the polo or the Tommy, and it's proved itself by the way that these brands are starting to slide in the marketplace. But my main point is, they want to set themselves apart and individualize themselves, and this brand represents truckers, bikers, a custom culture vibe, which is kind of bad boyish. And I think that's the mystique of the brand.
What's your role in Von Dutch?
We're Von Dutch Kids, which is the extension of Von Dutch Adult, to help build a brand, build a line, enhance their growth, and help build the brand for the long haul. Take this, we believe this brand could be one of the top mega brands out there. Up there with the Fendis and the Guccis and the Pradas. This has the cachet, it has the attitude, it has a focus on styling, and people love it. And it's the little details. Doesn't have to, not everything screams here. I mean, there's some Von Dutch stuff that does scream. I would say that this Compton jean is a screamer, but a kid that wants to be a little, this is the Huckleberry Finn. This is that kid that's a little mischievous. It's not your little mama's boy. This is the kid that's a little bad boy. It might be the bully. I hate to admit it, I was a bully, but you know, it's that kid that's a little edgier. That kid that wants to make a statement, the leader of the pack. That's who's wearing this gene. The kid who runs his little group in school. That's the kid that's wearing the Von Dutch gene. It's the kid with attitude. There's a culture about it. The culture is, we don't get style guides from them. We don't get all kinds of things that you get normally when you're doing a brand deal. We're just connected up here. That's where it's connected. And of course, we're starting to learn how to share information and share creative with them. But it was a very unorthodox style of working. Very unique.
And do you think it'll catch fire for kids, really?
I think this thing already caught fire. I think if you saw us at the Magic Show, if you saw us at the New York show and saw the commotion by our booth, you would say, what the hell is going on? We had every one of our competitors pacing back and forth trying to figure out what the hell we were doing, why we were so busy, why we wrote the kind of volume we wrote in 2 shows. I've never experienced something like this in my life. In my wildest dreams, I looked at, when I was going into this business, I said, imagine if I could get Polo for kids. Imagine if I could get Tommy for kids. This was a dream beyond my expectations. Now I got Von Dutch. I got something that could be bigger than those guys. And it's right in my backyard, right under my hands. Dream come true. Complete dream come true.
You know, you also describe yourself as a gangster. What do you mean by that?
We're unconventional. We're not killers in any sense of the word, but we are gangsters in the sense that we don't want to advertise the way other people advertise. We want to use guerrilla tactics to advertise. We want to do things in an unconventional way. Not necessarily unprofessional, but unconventional. We want to do things more common sense driven and more street oriented. When I say gangster, I mean I don't want to be these corporate guys that by the time they figure out that they're stale, it's too late. And that's what happens out there. We're going to be on the street. We got our nose to the pavement. We're smelling it. We know what's happening. We know when we're hot and when we're not. And that's what I mean by gangsters. We hang with the people that know what the next trends are going to be. Things that I've doubted, I've seen explode right before my eyes. And now I believe in those people. The same way I expect people that didn't believe me when I first pitched Radio Flyer, for example, or Carter's for that matter, that when I come to you with Von Dutch, don't question me. We've done our homework. And that's the gangster in us. We have even we negotiate overseas, we have a certain style the way we work. We don't work typical. It's just an unconventional style of working that's better than the norm. That's my explanation of gangster.
The amazing story of Alan Mala and his company WeePlay and Von Dutch. Truly one of the hottest stories in the fashion industry today. I'm Doug Llewellyn reporting from New York.